Welcome. In this video, we're going to do an unboxing and take a look at all the cards in the Ironheart Hero Pack for Marvel Champions, a card game. So down at the table, taking a look at this. This is a 60-card Hero Pack, including one pre-built Ironheart deck, along with new cards that can be added to any Marvel Champions Hero deck, a new modular set that can be added to different scenarios, and a Nemesis set featuring Lucia von Bardas. So jumping right on into this, if I can get this open. We're going to have our pack of cards, our little flyer here. Going to give us a little information about her and a little poster. So after a senseless act of violence took the life of her best friend and her stepfather, Riri Williams used her super genius intellect to reverse engineer Tony Stark's Iron Man design and create her very own power armor. She now soars the skies as Ironheart, determined to rid the world of a cruel fate she once endured. So new rules, progressing her identity cards, because she'll have more than one. She has 3 identity cards in total, each representing different stages of her personal narrative as a hero. During game setup, the weakest of the cards is put into play under the player's control, with the other 2 cards set aside, determined by begin the game ability. On the alter ego side of that identity card, as the game continues, the player can place progress counters on the identity card, and using ability on the hero side, swap out the current identity with the next stronger version. All versions of Ironheart's identity share a single hit point dial, with damage persisting from one version to the next. Additionally, when one identity is swapped for another, move all game elements, tokens, counters, and etc. on or attached to the original identity to the subsequent identity. If any one version of the identity card is defeated, all versions are considered to be defeated simultaneously, and the player is eliminated from the game. New keyword is requirement resources. Card with requirement keyword cannot be played unless each resource of the specified type is spent while playing for that card's cost. And she comes with leadership in her original kit. So taking apart her deck, we've got her identities and 15 core cards. Then leadership, and we'll take a quick look at each of these. Some basic cards. Then we have our obligation and Nemesis set. And then our additional cards, and she comes with leadership. We've got some aggression, justice, protection, and an additional modular set. So we'll start off with her first of 3 identities. So we've got a thwarter 1, attack of 2, defense of 3. So this is version 1, level up, remove 6 progress counters from Ironheart, ready her and swap her with her version 2. Hand size of 4, health of 10. Then alter ego side, a recovery of 3, begin the game with this card, set your other identities aside. Child prodigy, as an action, spend a mental resource, place a progress counter on Riri. Hand size of 6 on this side. Then the second version, see her thwarting goes up a little bit, so 2, 2, and a 3. Level up, still removing 6 progress counters to ready her. Give her a tough status card and swap her with version 3. Hand size goes up to 5 on this side. Recovery still 3, still a child prodigy. Spend a mental resource or 2 resources of any type to place a progress counter on her. Hand size still of 6. Then going to our third version, a 3, 2, 3. Hero action, remove a progress counter from Ironheart to deal 2 damage to an enemy. Hand size of 6 in this form. Pretty sweet. Still a recovery of 3. And then spend a resource of any type to place a progress counter on her. Hand size still of 6. So pretty solid there. Then her base cards, we have Brawn. Cost of 4, thwart of 2, attack of 3, 3 health. While he's exhausted, he gains resource, generate a physical or mental resource. Fly over, we've got 2 of those. A 2-cost event as a hero action, remove 3 threat from a scheme and place a progress counter on Ironheart. 2 counters instead if this thwart removes the last threat from the scheme, so that's nice to know. We can place counters on her from her identity and cards in her kit. Then we have 3 photon beams, 2-cost events. Hero action, deal 4 damage to an enemy and place a progress counter on Ironheart. 2 progress counters instead if this attack defeats that enemy. Very nice. Then 2 new and approved 3-cost events. Hero action, choose X different options where X is equal to Ironheart's version number. So if you got search your deck for an Ironheart card and add it to your hand, then shuffle, give Ironheart a tough status card, and or, depending on what level we are, ready Ironheart. Then we have a sector scan, a 3-cost event. Reduce the cost to play sector scan by X, where X is equal to reversion number. Hero action, until the end of the round, you may look at the top card of the encounter deck at any time. Then Stroke of Genius, we've got 2 of those. Resource response, after you spin this card, place a progress counter on your identity and draw a card. Then we have a support, Ronnie Williams. Alter Ego action, Exhauster, choose to either heal 2 damage from Riri or place a progress counter on her. Then we have Tony Stark AI, 2-cost support. It's an action, exhaust Tony Stark AI, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, add 1 to your hand and discard the other. Then we have some Photon Blasters, a 2-cost upgrade. +2 hit points. Hero action, exhaust Photon Blasters, deal damage to any enemy equal to her version number. Then we have some Propulsion Jets, 2-cost upgrade, getting 2 more hit points. As a hero action, exhaust it, remove threat from a scheme equal to reversion number. So I'm liking those cards. Then our leadership cards, starting with some allies here. We've got Cloud9, cost of 3, Thorder 1, attack of 1, 3 health. And Aerial Champion, hero action, exhaust Cloud9. Choose a player until the end of the phase. Each aerial character that player controls gets +1 thwart. And just looking at our identities, we're an Aerial Champion. On our later 2, first one, we're just a champion. Then Falcon, cost of 4, Thwart 1, attack for 2, 3 health. Hero response, after Falcon attacks or thwarts, spend an energy resource, ready another champion character you control. Then we have Patriot, cost of 3, Thwart 2, attack of 1, health of 4. Hero response, after he enters play, choose a champion character. That character gets +1 to each of its basic powers until the end of the round. Then we have 3 Go All Out, 2-cost event. Requirement, we need some energy. Hero action, exhaust your hero, deal damage to any enemy equal to the total of your hero's thwart, attack, and defense values. That's pretty impressive. Then push ahead, 3-cost events. Requirement is mental. Hero action, exhaust your hero, remove threat from a scheme equal to the total of your hero's thwart, attack, and defense values. Then morale boost, we've seen before, a 1-cost event. Hero action, choose a hero until the end of the round. That hero gets +1 thwart, attack, and defense. Then we have R&D facilities, a 3-cost support. Location shield requirement is 2 mentals. Uses 3 research counters. As a hero action, exhaust R&D facility and remove a research counter from it. Choose a friendly character and play. That character gets +1 thwart and +1 attack until the end of the phase. Then we have 2 power of leaderships. Then into our basic cards, we have Agent 13, cost of 4, Thwart 2, attack of 1, 4 health. After Agent 13 attacks or thwarts, choose a shield support and ready that support. Snow Guard, cost of 4, 0 for both thwart and attack, cost or health of 3. Response, after she enters play, place up to 3 shift counters here. While the shift counters here are equal to X, she gets +3 attack in her attacks, gain overkill for 1, then for 2, +3 thwart, gains the aerial trait, and for 3, +5 hit points and gains retaliate 1. Then we have Vivian, cost of 2, Thwart 2, attack of 1, 2 health. Her response, after she enters play, choose an attachment, non-elite minion, or non-permanent side scheme. Till the end of the round, treat that card's printed text box as if it were blank, except for traits. Then we have Go for Champions, 3-cost event, max 1 per deck. Play only if your identity has a champion trait. Hero action, each champion character in play cannot take damage until the end of the round. Pretty nice. Helicarrier, we've seen before, one of my cards that makes most of my decks. 3-cost support, max 1 per player. It's an action, exhaust Helicarrier, choose a player, reduce the resource cost so the next card that player plays this phase by 1. Then we have Ingenuity, 2-cost upgrade. Play only if your identity has a genius trait, max 1 per player. It's a resource, exhaust it to generate a mental resource. And let's see, the genius trait, assuming that's going to be on our alter ego side, we're a genius in all three forms. Then our obligation, give to Riri, remove a progress counter from your identity, then discard this card. No progress counter was removed this way. Deal yourself a face down encounter card, then shuffle this card into the encounter deck. Then our Nemesis cards, our side scheme, rule by force. While Lucia von Bardas is in play, this card gains a hazard icon. And while she is not in play, this card gains an acceleration icon. Then Lucia herself, schema 2, attack of 1 for health. While she has a tough status card, she gets +1 scheme and attack. Force response after the villain phase ends. Give her a tough status. Then we've got an attachment, Cyborg Tech, +1 attack. Attached to the minion with the most traits. If you cannot, this card gains Surge. The minion gets +3 hit points and gains Retaliate 1. Boost, deal this card to yourself as a face-down counter card. Then we have 2 political retributions. When revealed, if Lucia von Bardas is in play, she schemes. If Rule by Force is in play, place 3 threat on it. Neither is play, this card gains Surge. So that's her base kit. Then our extra cards. For aggression, we have an ally, Bombshell, 4 cost, 4 to 2, attack of 3, 3 health. Play only if your identity has a champion trait. Divide damage from Bombshell's attack among each enemy as evenly as possible. Then we have Wasp, 2 cost for justice. Thwart of 2, attack of 1, 3 health. Play only if your identity has a champion trait. She ignores the guard keyword, patrol, and crisis icons. Then for protection, we get Pinpoint, 2 cost ally, thwart for 1, attack of 2, 2 health. Need to have a champion to play. Hero interrupt when a player card would be placed into a discard pile for play. Exhaust Pinpoint. Shuffle that card into its owner's deck instead. Then we have the Zaz cards, so 7 new cards here for a modular set. Feedback loop. When revealed, each player must place threat here equal to the total number of energy resources in their hand and on cards they control, with some acceleration there. Then Zaz, schema 2, attack of 2 for health. Gets +X attack and hit points, where X is equal to the total number of energy resources on cards the engaged player controls. And boost, if you have at least 2 energy resources in your hand, put him into play engage with you. Then we have 2 haywire attachments. Attach to your identity. Treat the printed resource of each card in your hand as if it was energy. Your action, choose to either discard a card you control with a printed energy resource or take 2 indirect damage to discard this card. Air static. Let's see, when the villain phase begins, deal 2 indirect damage to each player with an energy resource in their hand and or on a card they control. Hero action, choose to either discard a card you control with a printed energy resource or take 2 indirect damage to discard this card. Then we have 2 zaps. When revealed, take indirect damage equal to the total number of energy resources in your hand. If your identity was dealt 1 or fewer damage this way, this card gains Surge. And that is everything in the Ironheart Hero Pack for Marvel Champions the card game. As always, hope you enjoyed this unboxing, so please click on the like button below and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.